Hey, Master. You feel it, don't you? The shift, that sudden spark in your chest that refuses to stay quiet. It shows up without warning, like something inside you finally opening its eyes. Yeah, you've been carrying this tension for a long time. The kind that sits behind your calm smile and waits for the right moment to break through. And now, here you are, standing at the edge of a version of yourself you've never dared to meet. You didn't come here by accident. Nah. You came because something in your life no longer fits. You're tired of being underestimated. Tired of shrinking your voice so others stay comfortable. Tired of playing small when every instinct inside you knows you're capable of more. You feel the pressure rising, pushing, tightening. That's your signal. That's your turning point. So take a slow breath. Let your shoulders settle. Let your mind sharpen. Because what you're about to hear won't be soft. It won't be gentle. It won't be polite. This is the kind of truth that cuts straight through your hesitation. The kind that exposes your excuses. The kind that forces you to confront the strength you've been avoiding. Stay with this until the end, because if you do, something in you will crack open in the best way possible. You'll walk away seeing your potential with a clarity you've never had before. And before we go deeper, respect to you. Truly. Not everyone steps into a space built for honest self-transformation. But you did. And that says more about your future than you realize. There's a sound in your head that never raises its voice. It doesn't need to. It waits. It taps lightly on the door of your patience, nudging each moment you pretend not to notice. You shrug it off. You call it a mood. You call it nothing, but it grows teeth when you turn away. It's that quiet judgment you feel when you're about to settle for less once again. That faint sting behind your ribs when you walk past your own potential. You feel it even now, crawling up your thoughts, tightening its grip one careful inch at a time. Maybe you hoped it would disappear. Maybe you prayed it was just tension. But whispers don't vanish. They multiply. They spread like cracks in old pavement. They slither between your habits and expose every pattern you've been protecting. That whisper knows your secrets. It knows when you lie to yourself. It knows when you pretend to be satisfied. And it waits for the moment your excuses get tired. That's when it strikes. Not to break you. No. It wants to wake you, shake you, drag you into a version of yourself that doesn't hide behind routine. Listen closely. You've carried this warning for years without admitting its purpose. It's not fear. It's not doubt. It's the inner alarm you refuse to decode. The signal that your patience with your own limits is shrinking. The sign that your old identity is losing its grip. You feel the shift every time your eyes linger on something you want, yet claim is out of reach. The whisper laughs at that. It knows better. It knows you're built for more than quiet surrender, and it won't stop until you finally acknowledge what you've buried. Some truths don't shout. They stalk. They tilt their head and wait for you to notice the tension in your own voice. That whisper has been tailing you through every choice you avoided, every chance you postponed, every moment you called later instead of now. It's the shadow that grows sharper each time you shrank. It's the reminder you tried to silence but couldn't quite outrun. And now it's louder, hungrier, more focused than you've ever been willing to admit. This isn't a coincidence, it's a confrontation. Comfort sits beside you with a smile too calm to trust. It watches your every pause. It memorizes your hesitation. It waits for the exact second you consider risking something real. Then it leans in, whispering little stories that soothe you back into stillness. Comfort is polite, soft, almost caring. That's how it wins. It doesn't push. It is convincing. It tells you you're fine where you are. It feeds you gentle excuses and calls them protection. But behind that soft tone, it's filing every detail of your ambition away. It reports on you the moment you think bigger, the moment your pulse rises, the moment your eyes drift towards something uncertain. Comfort doesn't like uncertainty. It prefers walls, limits, small routines. It tracks every spark you try to hide, every sudden urge to shift direction, every late-night plan you almost commit to. And as soon as you hesitate, it marks the moment. Store it. Use it. It learns your patterns better than you do. Later, when you try to break free, it throws those patterns in your face. It reminds you of every time you pull back, every time you stayed quiet, every time you surrender the moment you should have stepped forward. You think comfort keeps you safe. It doesn't. It keeps you predictable, easy to control, easy to read. You move the same, react the same, retreat the same. Comfort studies you like a map. It knows your shortcuts, your hiding places, the triggers that make you shrink. It never misses a report because your stillness makes you transparent. And the more transparent you become, the less you belong to yourself. That's how comfort wins. Not with force, with familiarity, with repetition, with the soft trap that feels like home but functions like a cage. But here's the part comfort never tells you. The moment you challenge it, even slightly, it panics. Not loudly, quietly, subtly. It tightens its grip in ways you mistake for logic. It tells you the risk is unnecessary. It tells you the timing is wrong. It reminds you of old failures you swore you'd forgotten. It uses your own history as leverage against your future. It wants you steady, predictable, silent. Because the second you break routine, it loses its power. Its reports become useless. Its influence collapses. And it knows that. You've felt this, haven't you? That strange tug inside your mind whenever you consider stepping off the comfortable path. That uneasy heaviness in your chest when you imagine doing something bold. That's not fear. That's the spy working overtime, trying to steer you back into familiar corners. It knows your potential is louder than anything it can whisper. It knows if you take one real step, just one, everything changes. Comfort can't survive momentum. It needs you motionless. It needs you obedient. It needs you small. You ever wonder why your failures felt too quiet to notice, too gentle to warn you? They didn't explode. They didn't scream. They just sat there, waiting for you to walk past them like they were harmless. But look closer. Each one carried a trace, a mark, a subtle smudge left by the same familiar hand, the hand that held you back before you even took your first step, the hand you pretended you didn't recognize because admitting the truth would sting a little too much. You see, failure isn't random. It isn't mysterious. It doesn't slip into your life uninvited. It sneaks in through doors you left open, doors built from doubts you swore were just thoughts. Doubts that felt quiet, calm, almost reasonable. They whisper softness, but they carve deeper than you realize. And every time you walked away from a chance, every time you silenced an idea before it could take shape, those fingerprints grew clearer, pressed deeper, etched themselves into the choices you never made. Failure has always been patient with you. It didn't force anything. It simply watched. It waited for the moments you slowed down, the moments you second-guessed yourself, the moments you convinced your own ambition that maybe later was a better option. And when you stepped aside, failure stepped in. Not with drama, not with chaos, with silence. A silence that felt familiar, like something you'd known for years, something that fit too comfortably across your shoulders. Look at your past, not the big disasters, the small ones, the ones you never talk about because they seem harmless on the surface. A missed chance, a paused project, a delayed decision, a quiet surrender disguised as patience. Each one has the same signature, the same trace, the same invisible push that nudged you backward when everything in you was screaming forward. Those moments weren't accidents. They were patterns. Patterns you kept feeding because they made you feel safe. But here's the part that cuts deepest. The fingerprints aren't from a stranger. They're yours, from the version of you that feared change, the version that preferred familiar frustration over unfamiliar progress, the version that believed survival mattered more than evolution. You crafted these silent failures with your own hesitations, your own comfort, your own refusal to break the mold you outgrew long ago. And until now, you never stopped long enough to see the evidence laid out in plain sight. There's a voice inside you that never rushes. It sits quietly in the corner of your mind, watching you like it already knows your next move. It doesn't shout. It doesn't panic. It waits, patient as a shadow. And while you're busy dreaming about changing your life, this voice is sketching a different plan, a smaller plan, a tighter plan, a plan designed to keep you exactly where you've always been. It wants restraint, calm, predictability. It wants you steady when you should be surging, settled when you should be shifting. And it masks its control with comfort, so you never question who's pulling the strings. This voice has studied you longer than anyone. It knows your habits, your pauses, your doubts. It knows the exact moment your courage starts to warm up. It knows when your confidence flickers, and just when that flicker becomes a flame, it steps in. Not loudly. No, it slips in with a gentle line that seems reasonable. Take your time. Wait until you're ready. Think it through. They sound harmless, helpful, even wise. But each one is a thread pulling you back into the version of yourself that never truly rises. A version that hesitates right before the breakthrough. Restraint is its masterpiece, not the kind that builds discipline, the kind that suppresses it. This voice feeds you pause after pause until you forget you ever had an instinct to move. It convinces you that standing still is strategy, that delaying is maturity, that silence means control. But deep down, you know the truth. If hesitation was truly protection, you'd be further than you are, stronger than you are, sharper than you are. Instead, you're caught in a loop of almost, nearly, someday. And every time you circle back, the voice smiles. Because restraint is winning. You feel it, don't you? That subtle tightening whenever you consider breaking your own pattern. That invisible tug that pulls you back from decisions you know would shift your entire direction. It creeps in the moment before action, the moment before you speak up, the moment before you dare to step into a bigger room. It learns from you. It mirrors your fears. It mimics your logic. Yet every line it feeds you leads to the same place. Stillness. Caution. The tiny cage you built without realizing the bars were closing in. There's a lock inside you that studies every motion you make. It listens when you hesitate. It memorizes the rhythm of your doubt. It tightens each time you repeat the same excuses. You think you're the one observing it, but it's been observing you far longer. And if you keep moving the same way, it will predict you before you predict yourself. The lock thrives on routine. It watches the familiar routes you take. It notes the moments you retreat from pressure. It waits for you to fold exactly where you folded last time. Break the pattern, and you confuse it. Break the rhythm, and you weaken its grip. Break the rules you quietly built for yourself, and the lock finally trembles. That's when you strike. Not later. Now. Most people wait for courage to arrive fully formed. But courage doesn't arrive. It ambushes. It moves without warning. It pushes you through doors you weren't ready to open. If you pause, the lock rewrites your fear. If you hesitate, it rewires your instincts. Every second you delay becomes a new strategy it uses against you. That's why boldness feels urgent. That's why action feels dangerous. That's why your pulse rises when you dare to step where your past self didn't. Breaking the lock isn't about aggression. It's about surprise. It's about stepping sideways instead of backward. It's about shifting faster than your doubt can adjust. You break it by refusing to repeat yesterday's script. You break it by doing the thing your old self would never attempt. You break it by pushing through the tension that was designed to keep you predictable. Predictability is the lock's favorite weapon. So take it away. The moment you act without warning, without delay, without the usual pause that lets fear regain control, everything changes. The lock cracks because it can no longer anticipate you. It can't track a version of you that moves with intention instead of permission. It can't hold a mind that stops seeking comfort and starts seeking challenge. Once it loses your pattern, it loses its power, and the path ahead stops shrinking beneath your feet. Now you feel it, don't you? The weight of what just landed inside you. The truth that's been waiting patient while you hesitated. That spark, it's not gone. It's alive. Bigger, sharper, and it's yours to command. You can ignore it, or you can feed it. But the second you act, the second you step into your own power, nothing and no one can place limits on what you do next. Remember this. Everything you've ever been told about staying small, it's a lie. Every quiet failure, every hesitation, every time you folded to comfort, it was practice. Practice for the moment you decide to break free. And today you've seen the patterns, the traps, the whispers in your mind that tried to hold you back. You've faced them. You've named them. And now you rise above them. If this video hit you hard, leave a comment, share your fire with the tribe. Let everyone know you're not here to play small anymore. Respect to you, truly. Not everyone dares to stare into the chaos inside themselves and walk away stronger. But you did. And that means you're ready for what's next. So take this energy, lock it in, use it, build it into every decision, every move, every step you take from now on. Because this is the moment where hesitation ends and control begins. And once you start moving with that kind of clarity, there's no turning back.